Why was Jesus crucified? The intersection of faith, politics, and power. The crucifixion of Jesus of Nazareth is one of the most scrutinized events in human history. While often viewed through a purely theological lens, the historical reality was a complex convergence of religious tension, political instability, and the rigid legal structures of the Roman Empire. To understand why Jesus was crucified, one must examine the motivations of the three primary groups involved: the Jewish religious leadership, the Roman authorities, and the common people of Judea. 1. The religious conflict, a threat to the status quo. For the Jewish religious establishment, primarily the Sadducees who controlled the temple and the Pharisees, Jesus represented a profound threat to their authority and the established religious order. The temple incident. The most immediate catalyst was Jesus's cleansing of the temple. By overturning the tables of the money changers, he wasn't just protesting greed. He was attacking the economic heart of the temple system. This act was a direct challenge to the Sadducees, who derived their wealth and power from temple commerce. Claims of divinity and blasphemy. Jesus's teachings often placed his own authority above or equal to the law of Moses. His claim to be the Son of God, or the Messiah, was viewed by the Sanhedrin as blasphemy, a capital offense under Jewish law. They feared that his deceptive miracles and teachings were leading the people into apostasy. Fear of Roman retaliation. The high priest Caiaphas famously argued that it was better for one man to die for the people than for the whole nation to perish. The Jewish leaders feared that Jesus's growing popularity would spark a messianic uprising, which would inevitably lead to a brutal Roman crackdown and the destruction of the temple. 2. The political conflict, treason against Rome. From the perspective of the Roman Empire, Jesus was not a religious problem but a political one. Rome was generally tolerant of local religions, provided they did not interfere with Roman order or tax collection. The charge of sedition. The primary legal reason for the crucifixion was the charge of treason. By being hailed as the King of the Jews, Jesus was seen as a direct rival to the authority of Caesar. In the Roman world, there could be no king but Caesar. Maintaining Pax Romana. Judea was a volatile province, especially during Passover when the city was packed with pilgrims celebrating their liberation from past oppressors. Pontius Pilate's primary duty was to maintain the Roman peace. Any figure who could draw large, enthusiastic crowds was a potential revolutionary. The choice of crucifixion. Crucifixion was a uniquely Roman punishment, reserved for slaves, rebels, and those who threatened the state. It was designed to be a slow, public, and humiliating death to serve as a deterrent to others who might consider challenging Roman rule. 3. The social conflict, the volatility of the crowds. The common people of Judea were living under the heavy burden of Roman taxation and the strict religious requirements of the temple. Many were looking for a Messiah who would be a military leader to drive out the Romans. Disappointed expectations. When Jesus entered Jerusalem on Palm Sunday, he was welcomed as a king. However, when he was arrested and did not call for an armed rebellion or perform a miraculous escape, many in the crowd may have felt disillusioned. Manipulation by leadership. The Gospels suggest that the chief priests stirred up the crowd to demand the release of Barabbas, a known rebel, and the crucifixion of Jesus. This highlights how easily the volatile atmosphere of Passover could be manipulated for political ends. Conclusion. A convergence of interests. Jesus was not crucified for a single reason, but because his life and message simultaneously offended the religious sensibilities of the Jewish elite and the political security of the Roman governors. He was caught in a perfect storm where the high priest needed to protect the temple, and the Roman prefect needed to prevent a riot. Ultimately, the sign placed above his head, Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews, summarized the Roman legal justification. He was executed as a political pretender to a throne that belonged only to Rome.